So, after a long, arduous journey, we have finally reached the final chapter of Fatal Frame 2, and I think we can take a little bit of a breather. Just enjoy the nice falling leaves. Something seems a bit amiss, though, and, well, much like Fatal Frame 1, if you do happen to linger, not touch the controller at all, or put in any button inputs, after about 5 or 6 minutes, you'll start to get this weird distortion effect, and you'll start to see this scary, creepy female face. Not exactly sure if this is supposed to be a reference to a ghost in the game. Maybe it's the woman in the box, but I don't know. Either way, all we need to do is head up to the Kurahai Shrine, and we'll be able to finally leave the village.
If we reach the shrine up there, we can leave the village. Mio, there!
So close and yet so very far away as Mayu is spirited away by these villagers. We are left with the choice, and, you know, honestly, we have tried so very hard to keep Mayu with us, but we're gonna have to go ahead and make our exit out of the village, even if it is without our sister. I mean, we have been trying our best to keep her with us, even though she has made it incredibly difficult. And I do feel a bit amiss about doing this, but you know what? You know, as long as at least one of us can get out of here alive, I guess that's all that matters. And the game does give you ample warning if you are very sure about doing this.
I'm sorry. I can't keep our promise.
Don't look back.
Mio, didn't we promise? Together always. Mayu! Mayu? Mayu! 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 I'll wait. Forever.
And with that, we see our only game over of the game, and as you can probably assume, that is not a real ending, more of a pseudo-ending, and the game really expects us to go after Mayu and fulfill our promise to get out of the village together. So we're going to go ahead and head after Mayu. It seems she is heading back to the Kurosawa house. But before we fully follow her, there are a few last optional ghosts to pick up. The first one's going to be in the storehouse here, where Itsuki was being held. Now, I didn't go up these stairs beforehand, mostly due to the fact that it just leads to a dead end, but in this final chapter, we do find a hidden ghost using the sense function. And it's Itsuki's sister, Chitose. As to whether or not this was her final resting place, it's never really made clear. I can only assume that... I can only hope that she wasn't in here when her brother decided to hang himself. But let's go ahead and head on to the next location. It's going to be up on Masano Hill, up at the Shinto Gate where we entered the village. Now if we just go ahead and zoom in... Oh, Jesus Christ. Yet again, we are interrupted from taking our hidden ghost photograph by these nasty villagers. And as you can probably assume, nothing really new here, so just decide to go ahead and speed it up. We will be seeing some new things combat-wise in this update, but, well, just in the village itself, nothing really new. I guess if you were still trying to get the woman in darkness, she would appear as a random ghost, but we've already fought her. But with those guys now out of the way, we can take the hidden ghost picture we came up here for. And this time around, we get Yai. A bit unsure as to why you could take a ghost picture of her, considering that she did get out of the village alive. Maybe it's in reference to her later death, but nothing really to ponder on there. Just a few more extra points. We do have one last ghost before we head up to the Kurosawa house. The final ghost is going to be over in the All Gods Cemetery. And it is pretty easy to miss this last hidden ghost, mostly due to the fact there is no indication that it would be up here at all. But if we head over to this corner here, you see the viewfinder reacting, and our final hidden ghost in the village is our final video game magazine editor? Sure. But with that, we can now head straight to the Kurosawa house, so we're just going to make a big old jump cut.
The two chosen children shall be carried to heaven on the wings of a butterfly. A butterfly that will save this village. This is how it was meant to be.
And overall, I really do love the foreboding atmosphere that the final chapter really gives off. Even though it doesn't really give much in the way of new music or, set pieces, it does give us that last little bit of the story we've been looking for, especially with, Mayu heading to, wherever the ritual actually took place. In front of the door here, we do find another diary entry from Yai. Much like Mayo and Mio, they did enjoy some time next to the river. And they both had aspirations to grow old together and, well, at least try to stay in contact. Even though Sai, yet again, coming across a lot more clingy than her sister. Now, we could technically head straight to where we need to, but as you can probably guess, there are a few hidden ghosts hidden away in the Kurosawa house we need to get, along with some random items strewn about, such as the herbal medicine. But our first point of call in the Kurosawa house, in our little optional side quest, is going to be the large sunken fireplace room. Now, that's not to say there won't be anything waiting for us between here and there. Indeed, there are a few challenges waiting for us as we head over there. And that is why I decided to equip a few new power lenses. Also, I decided we have quite a bit of Type 90 film, so we might as well speed up these fights just a little bit. But our first power lens is unlocked, I think, on New Game Plus Plus, to beat the hard difficulty. But it is the stop lens. Will completely incapacitate pretty much every ghost in the game until you do damage to them. It's very useful for getting the hard to get fatal frames, or just trying to give yourself a little bit of room between you and the ghost. So I do apologize. It has been probably a week or two since I've played, so I might be a tad bit rusty at combat. But I do have another extra special power lens equipped right now. It's called the Crush Lens. And it does quite a bit of damage. It's pretty much the direct upgrade from the Zero lens, and I think it is gotten after doing something hard. I think maybe completing the spirit list. Otherwise, though, there are no new items waiting for us in here, so we can just continue on our merry way. Now, it may not seem immediately obvious what is the reason to come to the Sunken Fireplace room, but it seems that there is a attack party waiting for us in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and heal up as best I can and take care of this incredibly dangerous enemy attack. We have 3 limbo men and 1 limbo woman. And while the limbo men are the least of our concerns, it's more the limbo woman that is going to be the thorn in our side during this fight. Yeah, she decided to teleport us, or teleport in and attack us. But this is another good reason why it's nice to have the Crush Lens, as, especially coupled with the Type 90 film, it makes incredibly quick work of most ghosts in the game, even on the harder difficulties. The only drawback to the Crush Lens is that it does take up all 4 spirit orbs, so if you don't have the save function, Or if you're just not very good with storing up these spirit orbs, you're not going to get too much use out of it. So just being taken by surprise, even this late in the game, by the weird attack distance that the Limbo Woman has. But I do want to be a little bit frugal with the Type 90 film. Even after, I think this is the third or fourth playthrough on this particular save, we still don't really have that much Type 90 film. But with that ambush out of the way, we can now take a picture of what we came in here for in the first place. And while we probably could have taken this picture without having to fight those enemies, it's honestly just safer in the end. But on to the final hidden ghost that we have to get on this side of the house. Back in the doll room, where we found Mayu hiding before, there is another easily missed hidden ghost. And it's the accompanying twin, Sai. Otherwise, though, we are done with this side of the house, so I'm just going to make another quick jump cut over to the cell where the Folklorist was being held before he was turned into the Kusabi.
The time has come to see the hellish abyss, to become the Kusabi.
We have our final sight of the Folklorist before he was taken away to be tortured and mutilated. But with all that out of the way, we can now continue on our journey after our sister. Good news is we don't have to travel too far. There aren't too many places she could have gone in the Kurosawa house, and I have a pretty clear idea of where she might have gone.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's do this together.
And I do enjoy the sight of the veiled priest bowing towards Mayu during those little cutscenes. Really gets across that reverence rather than spite that the veiled priest had towards the twins of the village. So we get another note about Sai waiting for Yai's return. But in the altar room here, with the sense function on New Game Plus, we can find a hidden ghost. And it is Yai and Sai's father, the head of the Kurosawa household. But you might be able to recognize where Mayu was headed. It was that large building that we kind of ran into a dead end to before. are definitely on the right track. And if you were wondering how we were going to get in here, even though we are missing our sister...
I kept waiting and waiting.
We do get a little bit of supernatural help as our doppelganger twin set is waiting expectantly for us. Also, the game is nice enough to give us some Type 61 film, so actually I'm going to go one above that and switch back to the Type 90 film, just to be safe. Just a wonderful, wonderful cutscene, but say hello to the head of the Kurosawa household himself, Ryoken Kurosawa. Now initially he will just try to size us up and circle around us, but it's not too soon before he decides to show his true face and attack us directly. And while I am able to use the crush lens in the Type 90 film to whittle away his health pretty quickly, well, he does have a few more gimmicks up his sleeve before we can take him down fully. Realistically though, he doesn't have that many attacks. He will try to lunge at us and turn into a skeleton, and he also does have the projectiles of a normal veiled priest, but realistically, his real main attack is not attacking us directly at all. Instead, once he has enough time spent, he'll decide to call in some of his veiled priest buddies, and then it becomes more of a fight of sheer annoyance. Now, this particular room has a lot of columns to deal with. It's pretty much a straight 360 view all around us, but the columns do make it a bit hard to get a clear bead, especially when having to deal with two veiled priests at the same time. Not to mention, two veiled priests is not really something we've had to deal with yet in this game, and well, needless to say, it's probably the better idea to try to take out Mr. Kurosawa as quickly as possible so you don't have to deal with this stage in the fight. Because if you do manage to kill him, you can completely skip this part of the fight and the annoyances inherent with it. Now, just going back to that cutscene for a second while I deal with these not annoying and the least veiled priests, I did enjoy the fact that even though it seemed to Mio that she was maybe watching something akin to a movie, a little socket of the past, instead, upon creaking and making a little noise, the past turned back to face her, and she found that instead she wasn't in some flashback, she was in a horrible, horrible real-life nightmare. Also, So it is good to point out that I am using the second strongest film in the game, and even with my camera fully maxed out, this fight is still a massive pain in the ass if you get to this point in the fight. And normally you would be required to take down both of these veiled priests before Mr. Kurosawa decided to fully show his face again. But I was getting a bit tired of that.
Perform the ritual with Sai alone. Yai. Why did you leave?
And for our troubles, we get the Master's Key, with a lovely butterfly pattern on it. And we get our first radio stone of the update. So we're going to go ahead and give a quick listen to that. We are getting quite a collection as we near the end game here for radio stones.
Yai, you must understand. To remain such as ourselves, who are allowed to live, must live for the sake of the village.
A bit of odd wording there. He mentions the remaining like us, so I'm not really sure if he was saying that he himself was a twin, but I don't know, it may have just been an odd translation. But we do have a final hidden ghost waiting in the Kurosawa house. And it is the strewn up body of Makabe, the folklorist. But with our newfound key, we can finally head through this door that was previously locked so long ago. Though I do make a bit of a change before we head down. Let's see what's waiting for us.
Mio, no. Don't come near. Save yourself. Run away. Yai, come here. Hurry. Mio, once you've come this far, you'll come for me, Yai. I know you will. We promised we would always be together. So you ran away. But everyone died.
So yet again we get a definite impression that Mayu, under Sai's control, is definitely having some conflicting emotions. Maybe this radio stone will shed some more light on it.
Why didn't you kill me back then? Since my birth, I've been waiting for your hands to descend on my neck. Kill me. 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 Kill me.
Yeah, definitely very conflicting. But you may recall from very long ago in the first or second chapter, Masumi, the geologist or geographer, was mentioning something of an underground passageway just circling and intertwining throughout the underground of the village, and guess what we have stumbled into? And guess what is massively, massively populated with mourners? Yeah, I am not working in hyperbole here when I say that there are a lot of mourners in very, very narrow spaces down here, and well, for the most part, I can highly recommend not fighting them. At this point in the game, you really don't need the points, and more than likely, you don't need the headache of having to deal with them. And just to give you an idea, I think all total there are about 8 or 9 mourners in the next, let's say, 2 minutes of gameplay. Now, there are some points of interest waiting for us down here. Outside of being choked almost constantly. I do apologize. I do try my best to use the evade function, but it can be a bit sketchy in the game. And I will be pointing out the points of interest in a bonus video of sorts. But for right now, my main impetus is just to get through this as quickly as possible, and without dying to the best of my abilities. I guess, yet again, I do want to thank the game for being so wonderfully generous in its healing items. For some odd reason, though, the mourners do decide to stop giving chase here. And it might be due to the fact that there is something dangerous waiting on the other side of this crack. It's never really mentioned beforehand, but I guess in some circumstances the Kusabi will fail, and well, what we saw done to the folklorist would obviously leave a tortured spirit in probably the most tortured state it could be. Also, if you are feeling brave, there is some Type 90 film waiting here. But we are getting very close to the end of our underground choking journey. And even though I did manage to finally pull off an evade, it still landed me in a slapfest. Overall, though, this entire passageway is just kind of a, for lack of a better word, a dick move on the part of the game.
You finally come for me. You finally come. I knew you would come for me. I kept waiting and waiting. Let's continue the ritual. The ritual. 2 shrine maidens become as one.
But for however dickish it is, it does lead to a very nice payoff here at the end of the passage. find ourselves in front of, I think, the Kirai twins. As they weakly try to finish up the ritual they could never finish on their own. Stuck forever in this dark place, eternally suffering. And while I do really love the layout and look of this room, it's still not the end. That we see the folly that could not be undone, that has left the village eternally wrapped in darkness. There's one final hurdle though before we can head down to that hellish abyss, and that is to fight the rope man that we saw back in chapter 2 or 3 that we could not fight earlier. This time though we can fight the Kusabi, the folklorist, and it is a deceptively easy fight, especially in comparison to the Kurosawa fight. There are a few nasty tricks though to keep in mind as you do fight the Kusabi. First and foremost, he will kill you in one hit. Now you can kind of have a second hit available if you do have a stone mirror, but his attacks for the most part are just single easy swipes to avoid. He does teleport around quite a bit, but outside of his swiping attack and ability to kill you in one hit, he does have another easily missed advantage that most other ghosts in the game don't have, and that is that he can actually regenerate health. If you don't take advantage of the zero shots as often as you can, and if you're not getting fatal frames, this fight can definitely waste a lot of film. Thankfully, if you have gotten plenty of practice, even with Type 14 film, the Kusabi isn't too difficult, and at least is a good atmospheric and almost reference to the final fight from Fatal Frame 1. Just like that, we have taken care of the guard leading down to the hellish abyss, and well, we might need to hurry just a little bit. Maybe being this close to the hellish abyss is causing it possibly to cause a cave-in here, so can't dawdle too much. And I get a very strong feeling that Mayu is somewhere nearby. Here, though, we do find one last sad letter from Sai to Yai, in hopes that maybe, just maybe, she would have come back one day. And there she is, our sister. Let's go ahead and greet her.
I kept waiting. In a dark, dark place. Shall we begin? Yai. We were born together. But we have to live and die separately. I knew this. I knew. Mayu. We'll be together. We will. We can't be together forever. But with this, we can become one. So it's all right. Kill me. Why didn't you give me back my ability to feel your hand in my neck? We were just waiting on you on that piano. I was waiting.
And there you have it. Light breaks for the first time in many hundred years on All Gods Village. And we see a lot of parallels between the endings of Fatal Frame 1 and 2, with a sibling having to sacrifice the other sibling in some efforts to keep some greater evil from overtaking the world. Now, I did go over a little bit in regards to Fatal Frame 1, in regards to, I guess, the message inherent within these cadence or ghost stories that are present in Fatal Frame 1 and 2. But overall, it always seems to go back to the idea that there is just some inherent necessity within, even though Mayu and Miyu had no real hand, no real necessity in having to perform the ritual, well, outside of the given pull of Sai as the ghostly pull, or the ghostly impetus, there was still that greater responsibility felt to free the village from its horrible curse, and, well, the only ones that were around to do that were Mayu and Mio. Now, whether or not that really justifies what they did, or I guess the grim, bittersweet message of the game, it's a bit hard to tell, but, well, that is only one of two endings for the PS2 version of the game. And there are going to be two bonus updates. One of them will show off the additional chapter you will unlock on the harder difficulties. For now, though, I'll let you sit out the rest of the credits and listen to this wonderful, wonderful song. Hopefully you will stick around for those final updates, but if not, hopefully you had a good time, and hopefully you'll join me next time as we head into Fatal Frame 3. See you then.
Didn't we always promise each other? Together, forever.